What's up, everyone? It's your boy, BLAZEDxENFERNO.
And I'm ENFERNO and you're listening to episode 59 of the Infernal Gaming Podcast.
We are recording this episode, what's this, 4:30, so we're almost done the month, man. It's the last day. I think it's the last day of the month. Yeah, today's the last day of the month, man. So by the time y'all listen to this, happy May. And we got to do a show for you today, man. If you're new to the show, just remember you can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And also other platforms as well. Links are in the description. Check out our personal links as well, especially Eknight, man. He's been grinding on YouTube, so make sure you go check him out. Check me out on Twitch, all that good shit. Also on YouTube, because I'm going to be doing some stuff over there too as well. And remember to rate the show 5 stars on Apple and Spotify to help us grow. Just listen, man. We need your help, man. We need your help. We're trying to do something, man. We're really trying to do something.
What are we trying to do?
Just grow. Shit, just grow. Quick announcement real quick, guys. To kind of speak on the last episode and everything that kind of happened with that. That episode dropped a week and a day late. Only because of 2 reasons. It was, as you know, episode 58 was a music podcast and it's like 3 hours long. It's like 3 hours long because, again, we haven't had a music podcast in so long, like literally like 5 months. And we had a lot of ideas and stuff that we wanted to do. And we just kind of fit it all in one episode. I didn't expect a lot of y'all to listen to it in one day. It's kind of one of those things where you just kind of chop it up and listen to it when you can and stuff like that. And I do appreciate people who have tuned in and listened to it. It is a great episode. It's a little chatty, it's a little off rails, but I think that was a good episode for us coming back doing the music podcast. My boy Bird, my boy Warren, all that good shit. But in the wake of that, we have a new podcast release time and schedule now. Obviously, this episode is releasing kind of back to back with the music podcast because that dropped a week late. But now going forward, we're still bi-weekly, every other week. But instead of dropping that Monday at 10 a.m., the podcast drops on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. every week. All right. That's going to be the new schedule moving forward. We're just trying to kind of play with release times. Maybe in a couple weeks, we might switch it over to like 9 a.m. We're just trying to try some things, some sweet spots to where we can kind of fit in your day, man. And it makes it kind of easier for me to promote and do what I got to do, especially on a day like Tuesday, because I usually stream like every Tuesday. So it makes it very easy for me to kind of promote the podcast and all that good shit. So keep that in mind. If you don't see us drop it at Monday at 10 a.m. anymore, it's because we are now moved over to Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Yeah, I mean, so moving forward with this episode and 60, 61, 62, and so on, Tuesdays at 11 a.m., man. But let's get it, man. We got a lot to talk about. I got my boy Eknight back with me, man. He took a week off. To do the music podcast, fit that in there. But now we got a lot to talk about, man. We got a good episode here. I'm super excited to talk about some things. Eknight, what's good with you, man?
I'm chilling. I've been just on my YouTube grind and playing a bunch of games.
Yeah, man. Me and this boy Eknight finally got to touch grass together. It was dope. We took a little trip. It was really good, man. I feel like I haven't seen this man outside in like 10 years, so it felt good. Felt good to hang out with my boy, man. But yeah, man, make sure you guys check my boy out on YouTube. On both of his channels, he's got a personal channel where he does Pokemon card openings, and he's got the Couch Combat. Of course, you should know about Couch Combat if you watch me on stream, listen to the podcast. He's got a lot of shit he's planning to do over there, man. I may even make an appearance. Who knows? I mean, gotta find a way to fit that shit in. But yeah,
We'll
man.
figure it out.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. We both kind of on our grind. I just hit like 700 on Twitch like a week or two ago. We're on our grind and we're getting fast. We're getting close to the summer. And I got something special for y'all. By the time you see this podcast, if you do watch me on Twitch, and you do follow up on my stream schedule and stuff like that, you'll notice that this stream schedule this week is very thin. I'm literally streaming 2 days. There's no Friday night fight this week. There's no Saturday stream, no nothing. I'm streaming 2 days this week. But I'm here to let y'all know it's for a big reason, a big reason. Nothing bad, something very great that I got planned for the week following. So from the, I believe, 2nd to the 6th of May, I'll only be streaming 2 days out the week. And they'll be pretty long streams, but I'll only streaming 2 days that week. And then next week, starting on the 7th, we got some shit planned because the 7th is my stream anniversary. It'll be 2 years of me streaming. So I got some things planned, some things that I want to try out. And you just have to stay tuned, man. Listen, it's going to be a movie, literally. I'm not even playing with you. It's going to be a movie. But let's get into this. Let's get into this this content. We're going to start out with two things. Two things that I got to play. I don't think Eknight played either one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, we're going to start with the Street Fighter 6 demo. Last week, I believe it was last Tuesday.
Yeah, I believe that was when you dropped that.
Nah, it was the Tuesday before that, or the Thursday before that. My fault. Thursday before that, there was a Street Fighter showcase. They live streamed it. They showed off the open world concept of the story mode, the World Fighters mode. They showed off some of the new mechanics with the fighting. And alongside that, at the end of the showcase, they dropped a demo, which I think is only exclusive to PlayStation, because I've had some of my Xbox friends ask me how I played it. But yeah, it's exclusive to, I believe, the PS4 and PS5. I played the PS5 version. And I'm gonna just talk about it briefly, because the demo is super small. It's literally a very short slice of the story mode, and then it kind of lets you kind of play around with the like versus mode, so you can kind of try out either the new character. I think he's new. I don't know if he's in Street Fighter V, Luke, and obviously Ryu. You can play as either two of them in the versus mode. I'm gonna start off with the story. So it's a little weird to see Street Fighter in a kind of open world story mode type thing, but it honestly does work, and it's really dope the way it works too. We have basically one of the craziest character creation things of all time, next to maybe like Elden Ring. Like the Souls games are kind of like bland with the character creation. You could do a lot with them, but I think with this, it's like, it's crazy. Like you can literally morph certain parts of people's body and all types of shit. You can change people's heights.
Is it like the WWE wrestling game? You can just make up whoever you want.
Yeah, but you can get like really crazy with it, man. Like I've seen some people make like some 7-foot crazy monstrosities that look like fucking Titans from Attack on Titan. I've seen people I've seen people do crazy shit with the character creation. I kind of went like bland with mine, honest to God. I just made a super thick ass chick, like just super thick. But you can do a lot with the character creation. It lets you kind of fuck around with that for a while. And then it kind of like throws you in the story, which is probably seemingly the beginning of the story. And you just kind of train with the guy, Luke, and I guess your protagonist on some Pokemon shit. You have like a little protagonist that goes with you. I don't know if he's like a new fighter to the game. I don't think he is. I think he's just somebody for the story. And you guys kind of go at it, and y'all hit the streets. You get to try out the open world fighting a little bit. It's pretty fucking wild. You can literally you can walk up to any NPC that you see in the world and just start a fight with them. Like just beat them the fuck up. Like they took the Street Fighter name literal with this game, and I like it a lot, dog. I ain't gonna lie, I like it a lot. I like how you can literally just walk up. If you see my TikToks, my reels or my shorts on it, because I did drop a short for it, just to show you how like crazy it is. Like you can literally beat somebody up, walk up to another NPC and just start a fight with them. It's super dope, man. I don't really like the bad guys for the story mode. They're like these weird characters with like boxes on their heads for masks. It's kind of weird.
Boxers.
Yeah, man. It's weird, man. But again, it's a very short vertical slice of the story that you get to play. But I really did like it. I do think I'm gonna play it on stream. But I mean, I was already gonna buy this game day one. I just kind of just needed to see what the fighting mechanics were like. And I spent a majority of my time in the demo, in the versus mode, like playing as Ryu versus Luke. Even though I do like Luke, so they made a lot of different changes, dog, that a lot of people hate and a lot of people love. Number one, they simplified the fighting in this game. If you play games like Jump Force, Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, you know that a lot of these fighting games nowadays rely on like a one button press to do like your special abilities and shit like that. They finally brought that to Street Fighter. Now it's toggleable, which means that you can play the old way where you can do down forward punch for the Hadoken and shit like that, or you can literally just hold a button and press a button to do the same thing. So it's more. I want to say like I don't want to say like noob friendly. You see what I mean? Like
It's more casual.
yeah, more casual friendly for people who don't like the old style of fighting games. Because I hear people say that all the time. Like I hate like that I gotta press all these buttons to do like combos. I guess games like I said, like Fighters, Jump Force, Xenoverse, kind of spoiled people. Tenkaichi kind of spoiled
Well,
people.
is it more like Naruto, Shinobi Strikers, like
Yeah,
3D?
yeah,
Okay, then
yeah.
that makes sense why they switched the control scheme because it's a lot harder to do a shit ton of combos to activate a special ability.
Well, no, it's still 2D in a sense of like you're just facing off in front of your opponent. Like you can't move around the map.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
Yeah.
like run around the map.
No, it's
fighting.
not like Soul Calibur or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's literally still 2D. It's just they simplified the combat, I guess, for like a new generation of Street Fighter because that's what they're calling this. I mean, I just pointed out to Gundar the other day. This is the first Street Fighter title, and what Street Fighter's been out like over 30 years at this point. This
Yeah.
is the first Street Fighter game to not have Ryu on the cover. It has Luke on the cover instead. So you could tell they're kind of pushing like this new generation of like fighting games because you see a lot of fighting games have kind of moved to make that more traditional to where like you kind of hold a button, press a button to do an attack instead of like, again, like down, left to right punch to do like a Hadoken and shit like that. It's basically just you hold a button, press a button, and you do it. I don't really like it because my mind is programmed to downside punch to do the Hadoken and shit like that. But I did try it in the story mode because I don't think you can toggle it on and off in the story mode. And it is very simple, man. Like you literally I think it's like you will hold triangle and push in a direction and you literally do the attack. It's pretty dope, man. It's pretty dope. The fighting is fluid. A lot of my problems with Street Fighter V, it seems like they addressed. I did notice there's a lot of stuttering in the beta, or the demo. But then again, it is a demo, so just keep that in mind. There was a lot of stuttering. Hopefully, the net code and the latency for online fights is a lot better than it was in Street Fighter V because there's a lot of latency in that game. We've been streaming Street Fighter V a lot on stream on Fridays and shit. We've been getting the guys together to play and practice for Street Fighter 6. And I'm not gonna lie, like the net code for that game it's good, but it stutters a lot. Like I just hope they kind of fix that with this. But overall, it looks good. The starting roster looks like it's pretty decent. They kind of already made a roadmap of the 4 characters that they're dropping during the first year of the game, and they're spread out between like 3 months. So I don't know if they're doing a battle pass for this game. I don't think they are, but with
They probably
today's
will.
society. Yeah, you can only imagine. But
Wait,
from
when's
what
it
I
coming
played,
out?
huh?
When's it supposed to come out?
June 2nd, man. That'll be a day one. We'll be playing that Friday night fight because it is a Friday that it releases, and it's gonna be a good time, man. So
All
yeah.
right, you setting up a tournament for it?
Yeah, yeah. I think I will. I think I'm gonna have to set that joint up.
All right, that's
Yeah,
dope.
man. And that's it for Street Fighter 6. Now, the other game that I played that E and I didn't play was all the hype for like 2 weeks. And it's probably gonna be, if you're looking at the title of the podcast, it's probably gonna be the title of this podcast because I gotta kind of make it clickbaity for you guys because that's what everybody on YouTube is doing. Everybody's talking about the new Call of Duty killer, which is XDefiant. Everybody keeps saying this is a Call of Duty killer. This is Call of Duty's competition. This was a game that everybody on first look, first glance hated, didn't want anything to do with it. They said, "What the fuck is this?" I remember people played the alpha. They're like, "This game is sluggish. It feels like shit." It seems like Ubisoft wants to catch a big W with this game, so they're pulling all the strings they can to make this game as successful as possible. They've reached out to a bunch of Call of Duty players, a couple FaZe Clan members, pro players in the Call of Duty scene and shit like that, and brought them into XDefiant to kind of fix and tweak this game, to make this game like really dope. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, so I heard the news about the closed beta from a friend of mine who was just like, "Yo, like this game looks dope. We should check this shit out." And I was like, "Bro, like I heard XDefiant was ass." I was like, all they did was drop the Tom Clancy from it. But after doing my research, watching a couple other streamers play it, I was like, "Yo, this looks pretty fucking dope, man. It looks like a totally different game." So I got in the closed beta, which you had to watch specific streamers for like 30 minutes or something like that on Twitch, and they would send you a beta key to get in. And I didn't play a lot. So take what I'm saying with like a grain of salt. So I didn't play a lot because I kind of got bored because I was only playing by myself. And I was playing on PC, mouse and keyboard because I kind of want to get better at playing shooters, especially fast-paced shooters on mouse and keyboard. And I see why y'all like that shit because mouse flicking is fucking satisfying when you get that fucking flick off, like you're sprinting and you do that little jump and you flick and you just it's very satisfying. But XDefiant is it's like a hero based Call of Duty, honestly.
Yeah, like each one has like abilities and shit.
Yeah, well, now to talk about that a little bit, one of the characters right now is like completely broken. Like everybody plays her or they play as that specific class, and that's the Far Cry 6 Libertad class, which is basically its ability is you heal yourself up to like 120. I think at one point it was like 150. And then the ultimate is there's two ultimates, but I've only used one of them, and that's the one that boosts your health to I think like 180, and then you heal passively faster, like out of combat for like a short period of time. So that class is completely broken. Hopefully they fix that shit because I didn't see a lot of people play the other classes. I played the Splinter Cell fourth Escalon class. That's pretty dope. You can go like invisible and shit like that. The Ghost Recon Phantom class was pretty dope. And then they have like two other classes or one other class, but I don't remember what it was because I didn't play it. But I mean, this is like every Call of Duty fan that didn't like the changes they did to the slower pacing of Modern Warfare 2's dream. Like the movement is super fluid. Like you can slide cancel. You can jump around like a maniac. The movement is like super fluid. I think they really focused on the movement a lot more than anything, which is something that I appreciate because, one thing I've always liked about Call of Duty is that it was faster than all these other games and shooters that I was like, it's weird to say that at this point in time, Battlefield with 2042 is a lot faster than
It is a lot
Call of Duty
faster.
is. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to say that because
Also a
Battlefield was
lot
always shorter.
less challenging to shoot people. You can really cross map anybody with any gun right now.
Oh, what in Battlefield?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gotten back to that game. I plan to.
Played a little bit in the past couple of weeks. Me and Julio.
Okay.
It's actually a lot better.
Yeah, that's good to hear, man. That's a game I'm always praying for to get better because I'm about to put another SSD in my PlayStation. So once I get that, I'm gonna download Battlefield again because I ain't got space for all these fucking games I got on my PlayStation. I need another SSD. But xDefiant is dope. It's free to play, by the way, too. It's free to play. It's cross play and cross progression, which already gets a thumbs up in my book because I can play with all of my friends across any platform that they're on. That's always a W. But yeah, man, the combat is pretty good. The time to kill was the thing that I was the most worried about because with these like pseudo hero shooters, the TTK can be a little crazy. Look at games like Apex. Like I just went back to playing Apex on Friday, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it took me a minute to get used to that TTK again because that shit is just unbearably long sometimes. But the TTK is pretty good. Like you can kill somebody like 5-6 shots. I mean, like maybe I'm over exaggerating. Maybe like 8-9 shots. Maybe a little less on certain guns, and if depending on if you're hitting in the head and shit like that. But it feels really good, dog. You get 5 modes from the rip. You basically domination, control. I'm naming them by their Call of Duty names. They're not named this in the game, but they're all objective based. So there's no team deathmatch. It's like domination, control, headquarters, and like a search and destroy type joint. So I think there's 4. Yeah. So it's shaping up to look pretty good, man. There's a create a class system. There's a couple guns. There's a battle pass. You could expect that from a free to play game. But it's looking good. Is it going to be a Call of Duty killer? Probably not. That's just what everybody wants to talk about. You know what I mean? To get clicks.
I think COD just offers a lot more right now than xDefiant can when it comes out.
Yeah. I think that's the thing with Call of Duty right now. It's in such a. It's weird because Call of Duty numbers are dropping. Like player count is dropping. But it's still one of the most successful games on like YouTube, Twitch, all that. And it's just because I think personally, it's touched literally every type of fucking. You got ranked in Call of Duty now. You got ranked Warzone and ranked multiplayer. You got Warzone. You got DMZ. You got casual multiplayer. There's just too much to do in that game. And I think with this, you literally only have 4 modes. I really think this game is going to be really fun with friends. I played it completely by myself, so I got kind of bored of it. I was just trying to really get my mouse and keyboard skill up. But nonetheless, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, man. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait till it comes out because we're kind of like in a weird drought right now. It's weird because we're getting a lot of games right now, but we're not getting a lot of shooters right now. It's a lot of like, we got Tears of the Kingdom coming out. We got Star Wars that just came out. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So we don't really have any like big first-person shooters coming out. There's rumors that there's going to be a Call of Duty coming out this year, but that's hasn't been confirmed. I don't think I've seen Charlie Intel say anything about it. I've just kind of seen certain YouTubers and other, people talk about it. So if we don't get a Call of Duty this year, this might be the thing to play if you get kind of burnt out from Modern Warfare 2 and shit like that. But it's free to play, cross progression. How can I not, tell you to go and play this joint? You really have nothing to lose. I mean, just download it. If you don't like it, delete it. I mean, but that's it for xDefiant, man. Check that joint out. Let's get into the news, man. Let's get into some shit.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that was a nice little segue to talk about the Star Wars situation, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, so let them know about that, John Eknight. Let them know. Let them know.
So basically, what has been going on is that Jedi Survivors finally came out, and it has been running like shit on all platforms. From what I gather, some people say it runs good on PS5, some people say it runs good on Xbox, but ultimately it just seems like everywhere there's bugs, problems, performance issues, audio issues. It's kind of sad because based on the reviews that came out, it's getting 9s and 10s. So like there's no mention of bugs anywhere. So it's either one of two things, because I'm still looking at IGN's review. They haven't even added an edit on the bug issue right now. But they basically they either got a copy of the game that was either somehow devoid of bugs and had no issues whatsoever day one. The day one patch was the reason why there were so many bugs and glitches, which is possible, or the outlets flat out lied about the review. So it's kind of just shitty all around for this game, because this is a game a lot of people were looking forward to. It's a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, and it's like it's got a lot of systems and points in the story where it's like, oh, we're like not just gonna relearn how to do everything again. Like you are learning new abilities, but it's like not the same abilities from the last game, and then some new ones, like most games do with these types of RPGs. So this is gameplay wise, from all what everyone has been saying, it's good. They just can't get to that part in some cases. I think a lot of people get off the first planet, and then once they get to the second planet, their frame rates just drop. Like they're like next level machines trying to run this game on PC, and you're only getting 27 frames, and that's with all the settings turned down in performance mode and everything. So the optimization is poor across the board, and it's hard to tell whether or not Respawn knew this going in, or if they were forced to rush it out because EA said they had enough time. But so far, I think Respawn has officially apologized for the state of the game. And I don't know when it'll be fixed, but it's kind of like you should probably hold off on it for the time being.
Yeah.
If you're planning on streaming it or anything like that. We also think that there might be issues because of the DRM that's attached to it. De Novo, I think, is what they were using to try and counter pirates. But it feels like in-game DRM doesn't really do much to prevent piracy, and ends up costing companies like good titles because of poor performance.
Yeah, man. It's a shame, dog.
It is.
It's a shame because I was truly at one point excited for this game. I wanted to buy it day one. But I'm older now, and I'm kind of wiser, and I'm trying to stop giving into FOMO a little bit. So I was just kind of like, okay, I got a lot of games. I still haven't beat Hogwarts yet. I still haven't fucking beat God of War Ragnarok yet. So I'm like, yo, I didn't beat Pokemon yet. I'm like, yo, let me put this on the back burner. So I'm definitely getting Tears of the Kingdom in 2 weeks. So it's like, bro, let me calm the fuck down. Put this on the back burner. Me being a huge Star Wars nerd, I was like, yo, let me just calm down, put this on the back burner. Because I talked about this on stream. I'm really not, like, Fallen Order was a good game to me, but I really don't like this Soulsborne. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but this Soulsborne approach to like a Star Wars game, I like it, but it's just, I'm used to kind of just like games like Force Unleashed. Like that's a great Star Wars game to me because it's just insane. Like the amount of shit you can do. You're hitting enemies for all these combos, and it's just over the top, and you feel like super powerful. So I'm used to that. Like
Yeah.
I like games like KOTOR. Like I played KOTOR way back in the day. Can't wait for the remake if that ever gets out of the development hell that it's in.
Mm-hmm.
I like games like that, but they're really not my cup of tea. I'd rather them come out with another like Force Unleashed Star Wars game. But I do want to play this. I'm gonna hold off. It's a little shady, man. It's a little shady because this is what I heard. IGN said, no bugs, no nothing, all that. Again, gives me kind of like a shady, like, was there? Is this something? EA was saying like, yo, don't talk about the bugs, or was it like a day one patch type thing? I don't know, but
Yeah.
I've heard certain influencers, YouTubers, stuff like that, content creators that got the game early, got a review copy and stuff like that. They did mention like the PC version ran like dog shit. And it was preferable that you play on like Xbox instead of playing on like PlayStation and shit like that, because I heard the PlayStation version ran just as bad as the PC version, but then I was hearing like the Xbox version runs. So it was just like,
I think it's true on all fronts here.
Yeah.
I think it's not like it's like which is the best platform. I think it's literally all platforms are poorly performing right now.
Yeah.
And maybe some people are getting lucky in avoiding certain bugs that some people encounter.
Yeah.
Because like glitches and stuff happen to everybody, but not every. But like the consistency of a glitch doesn't always happen because not everybody's doing the same shit. So, but a lot of people have run into the audio issues during cutscenes where it fucks up the cutscene for a few seconds in the beginning, and then there's also like FPS frame rate, which is the big one because that affects gameplay.
Yeah.
You can't really just like find the best platform in this game because it's overall poorly optimized for everything. And if you like, if you haven't bought it yet, out of anticipation hype, I'd strongly advise wait a month or two before getting it, or just keep paying attention to the news about it, because it's really not going to be worth $80, $70, whatever you're planning on paying for it, if you're getting the deluxe edition or not. To pay for like you shouldn't have to pay for the mistake of both Respawn and EA. And I'd like to believe that Respawn, like, because they did delay this game before because they said it wasn't ready. So
it's supposed to come out in March. It was originally supposed to come out in March this year.
Yeah, and I think they needed time to try and polish the bugs, but I guess it didn't matter because they didn't get around to it, or there was just too much to polish. It's also possible that the day one patch was the culprit in combination with the de novo DRM software. So, I mean, it could be a lot of things on this end, but the point still stands is that one copy, either the game has rave reviews from outlets and it's still performing badly, and nothing was told about us about my bad. Nothing was said about the bugs or anything and some of the reviews that I've read. So I don't want to sit here and shit on the credibility. Like, I'll shit on the IGN all day because they really just be fumbling shit with whoever reviews the game. I mean, like, you're gonna dock a point for water from Pokemon Ruby, okay, cool. But fucking the thing is that it's you can't, if all the outlets are reporting the same thing, right? And we've seen this before. Fucking Cyberpunk 2077. Everything was great. It's a 9, it's a 10, it's a great game. And then the game comes out and it's dog shit. And it's broken. And the game is lifeless and barely functions and shit like that. And then all of a sudden all the outlets are backtracking. Like, I don't think it's like an uncommon thing for this to be. The whole situation might be kind of shady. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. That's why I said what I said, man. Like, and I'm gonna stick to that. This is really shady coming from IGN, because again, I heard otherwise. I heard like the PC version was like unoptimized. Try to play it on like the consoles, and then I'm hearing like, and this was like Tuesday, Wednesday, earlier
like
in the week.
One.
Yeah, because like, yeah, man, this is just. like I said, it's kind of like the next game we're going to talk about. Definitely hold off if you haven't bought it yet. To those that have, and really can't enjoy it the way you were supposed to enjoy it. Sucks, man. Definitely sucks because this was a game I was saying like was definitely going to be in the conversation of game of the year for some people, and now I think that just kind of went out the window, man. Because I really think I keep saying this, when we talk about it, I really think this year is going to be really, really, really tight for what gets game of the year because we've gotten so many really good games this year, like a lot of really good games this year so far. And we're not done yet. We got like Zelda coming out. We got Starfield coming out. I know I'm missing some others that are coming out during the summer and fall, but we already
Armored
got
Core 6. We got a
Armored Core
trailer for that.
6. And we'll talk about that too later. We got that. We got so many games. I know Street Fighter's not gonna get anything, but we got so many games coming out this year where it's just it's gonna be interesting, man. Because right now, like I'm a stand by Resident Evil, 4 remake is definitely my game of the year. I hope it wins game of the year, but it's definitely gonna be tight. It's definitely gonna be tight, dog. Because we got a lot of good games. We got Hogwarts. We got Dead Space remake. Starfield is coming out. Zelda. So we got a lot of good games, and then we might get some sleeper hits. Like you never know, man. You never know. This has been a banger of a year for games. So
Yeah, it
it's
just
just
sucks that we got this little.
yeah, man. Yeah, I'm real disappointed, but I'm happy at the same time that I didn't buy it, man. Yeah, happy at the same
It's
time
fucked up.
I dodged that fucking bullet, man.
You really did. I was thinking about buying it too, but I was like, I still haven't finished the first one, so it's like
It's just EA, man. After Anthem, I just do not trust them, dog. I do not trust them.
no, that's
It's not
fair.
even Anthem. It's fucking. It was Mass Effect. I think No, my fault. It's Battlefront 2.
The fact that you can name so many games that EA has published and put out that would have dampened your trust for the company's telling for the company itself. So,
Yeah, man.
the moral of the story: it doesn't matter what W's EA gets in the future. Never trust them.
Yeah. Unless they
'Cause I
drop
think
Titanfall 3. Unless we get
Jedi,
Titanfall 3.
not even that, it might be dog shit.
Listen,
Jedi Fallen Order was their first W in a long while. So, like, up until that point, they were fucking up constantly.
and that was like 7 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, they haven't
we haven't really released anything since
Battlefield
2042
was a flop.
Yeah.
It's getting better now, but it's definitely a flop.
Yeah, but it's like a year or two later. It's like
It's a
the
little too late.
momentum has kind of died down. I mean, some people will go back to it when it's on sale, but I think for the most part, it's going to take another release for them to get back on top.
It sucks, man, because that's the one thing that I don't want them to do. Like, I really think this is like this needs to be like the end all be all like Battlefield games and just like constantly updated. It's like I said, you got the portal. There's so many different things you can do, man.
Yeah, but they fumbled the bag, and they should have delayed it another year. It's like it's depressing, but I would have been fine with it if the game came out and was basically near flawless.
It's a shame, man. But let's talk about another game that was dog shit. All right, when it came out, but it's getting good. The Last of Us Part 1 on PC got a huge, and I'm reading this verbatim from IGN post. I mean, verbatim. It got a huge 25 gigabyte patch, but Naughty Dog says they're still not done. They still got work to do, man. All right.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like I haven't really seen anyone complaining about it recently, but it's it's getting better. It just sucks that like this is another game that came out with shitty performance and it was meant for PC. So like for it to come out and just be a bad port is
Yeah.
kind of like just annoying.
Yeah,
You have a
man.
lot of people who wanted to play it on PC because they wanted that higher fidelity and frames. And I guess the modding community when they wanted to get their hands on it too. But it is like sad that this is gonna take probably a couple more updates before it's gonna run properly on on PC.
Yeah, and it was shit on Steam Deck too, by the way, y'all. It was completely trash. Like you couldn't even play it on Steam Deck.
Yeah, it was just terrible because it's basically like the PC Switch.
Yeah. Yeah, which is probably gonna be my next big purchase, probably sometime this summer. I gotta get me one of those.
Hmm.
Gotta give me one of these. But yeah, this list of fixes is fucking insane. You know what I mean? It's there's literally like 25 bullets in this joint. Like that's crazy. They had to fix that much shit. Like optimize CPU, GPU throughout the game. Dog, there's so much shit. I'd have to speed
Honestly,
read through this shit.
you would have to just. I feel like they should just show up at your house, pull your disc out, break it in half, and then be like, "All right, I'll come back with a new disc in 2 to 3 weeks."
Yeah. Now, mind you, this is the PC version. The PS5 version came out months ago and runs great from day one. So I don't know what it is with Sony when they
Well,
port games over. But
they send it to a third party.
oh yeah. I heard
I
somebody
think
else say the same thing.
I think the only games that haven't been sent to a third party were the God of War games.
Yeah,
So Santa Monica, I think, dealt with that themselves, which is what they should have done with any port because they know the game code, so it'll be a lot easier for them to understand. Every time they
yeah,
send it to a third party to port it over, it's always usually poorly optimized. There's a shit ton of bugs and shit.
yeah,
So,
man. It's a shame, dog. It's a shame. It's a shame. You like board games, right, E-Night?
yeah, it depends, but yeah,
You like tabletop games, don't you?
like tabletop RPGs,
Mm,
like D&D.
well, you're in luck, man. You ever wanted to 360 no scope somebody on a flat dimensional surface board game?
No,
Well,
never had the urge.
you may soon be able to in 2024 because Call of Duty is dropping a board game. For all of you guys that love those tabletop games. But there's a twist to it. And that's why I wanted to talk about this. Because I don't give a fuck. I like board games. I'll be wanting to get into them, like the tabletop games, but I don't have enough friends and like that would be like, hey, we're gonna come over and we're gonna start this big ass huge campaign on your dining room table. I mean, pause. There's a twist to this. So Call of Duty's doing a tabletop, or Activision is doing a tabletop board game, and they are crowd funding the game. The crowdfunding.
Wait, what?
It's being crowdfunded, dog.
Didn't another company try to do that too?
The Apex board game.
Bro, what the fuck?
The Apex
No.
board, yeah.
Why do you need to crowdfund this? You have billions of dollars.
Hey man. You pay for it.
I'm not paying for this, bro. If you
pay
help
for it.
crowdfund this game, you're fucking dumb. I'm sorry.
Listen.
This isn't the difference between an indie dev trying to kickstart a cool looking concept of a game and the multi-billion-dollar fucking AAA company trying to kickstart a fucking 2D board game that probably would just be like the only thing it would cost them was manufacturing.
Yeah.
Just 3D print the fucking models, bro. I can make this shit at home.
Yeah, man. It's got a Kickstarter, man. It's I listen, hey man, dog. Like I be wanting to get into these board games. I was definitely, I ain't gonna lie, I was definitely thinking about the Apex board game. Because I was wondering how
I
they're gonna
think you
make that
just
shit
want the
work.
figurines. I don't think you really care about the
Nah,
board game.
I
No,
I
no, 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 no. Don't
I
cap.
watch people on YouTube do those like big ass D&D campaigns or do like I watch a
That's
guy play Star Wars Empire. I watched this guy play this game called Star Wars Empire, which is basically like all of the Star Wars ships you put on like a board and you roll dice and draw cards.
yeah, and it's like the games that I like. I think that are cool offer TTP RPGs. They're like D&D, and like I recently played the Alien TTRPG online with a bunch of friends, and that was pretty intense and fun. But games like Call of Duty for a board game, unless it's like a weird XCOM spinoff, it's really gonna be just hit or miss.
They said it's gonna play like Risk in like a game like Blitzkrieg. I don't know what Blitzkrieg is.
I think Blitzkrieg is like a Warhammer football
Okay.
game, if I remember correctly. I'm not entirely sure,
Yeah,
but
it says it's gonna kind of play something like that. That's what they're kind of anticipating it to play like. So
yeah,
um,
I'm gonna have to say they need to probably reevaluate this decision. One, they need to pay for this themselves because I'm not gonna
yeah,
beta test this shit.
yeah, they the same thing with EA with the Apex. That's just fucking weird, man.
Yeah, no, this is something that like I know they're hiring like another developer for this game, but it's like, why are you crowdfunding it if you're not gonna pay for it? Like, I don't want to pay. It's just so weird. If to me, it feels like a ploy just for them to get a net profit if it flops.
Yeah, man, I'm not feeling this. I'm really not. I'm not, dog. Like
Yeah, you
the same
gotta.
is the same thing with the Apex board game. When I heard there's a Kickstarter for it, I'm like, but you are literally Apex is owned by $1 billion company, dog. All right, they make billions of dollars from FIFA. Why the fuck do you need to crowdfund this, John?
Yeah, I don't.
And it can't be that expensive to develop, dog. It really can't be. You know what I mean?
I mean, coming up with the concept, coming up with the game mechanics and rules might take some time, but overall, unless you have like figurines, which I don't think would cost that much to develop. I mean, most of the shit you could just 3D print for a low cost, and then the game board, unless you have some weird ass like, oh, this is our base set game board, and then you have something else attached to it. No, it shouldn't take. Like even Angry Joe fucking made his own fucking board game for Street Fighter.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that looks pretty good. I won't
yeah,
even lie to you. That looked pretty dope. I've always
and
wanted to play that too.
it to me to me I wouldn't play it because it's just like I'd rather just play Street Fighter. But I'm not gonna knock it because he got it made, he got it crowdfunded, and he's like a technically smaller YouTuber in the grand scheme of things. But he
Yeah,
definitely doesn't have access to trillions of dollars.
it's
So
crazy.
the question is like, what the fuck? I hate to be that guy that shames people to be hype about stuff. Like if you're really this excited over a Call of Duty board game, don't put your money towards it. Let them put their money towards it, make the game, and let it come out. Because I don't think crowdfunding something that for an IP, even if it's like, let's say this is a licensed thing, right? Someone licenses it. The way it's being shown to us is that the company Activision is the one making it and not some indie dev somewhere. So it's really hard to justify people wanting to crowdfund this shit.
Yeah, I just looked up the Kickstarter for the Apex board game, and it doesn't tell you how many people like put money into it.
It should actually.
Let me see. Call
It
of Duty
should be able to
board
tell you the certain
game.
number of pledges.
Let me see what's on this Kickstarter for the.
Unless they can hide it now, I don't
Yeah, I
know
don't
for
see.
sure.
I don't see the Kickstarter for the. Yeah, I don't see it for the Call of Duty board game. Must not be up yet.
No, they just announced this like not too long
Yeah,
ago.
but as
I
far
still
as the Apex one goes, I don't like I said, I don't see how many people like pledge to it, like any of that. I mean, it just says notify me on launch because I wanted to know like how many dickheads. There's 11K people are following the game, so there's people that are interested in this board game. Um, Apparently, if you follow now, you get a free Loba expansion.
Oh, yeah, again, that's why they're following it.
you get DLC for a board game. That is fucking.
Oh my god!
I mean, the board looks kind of cool for it. It's like 3D and shit like that. There's like buildings you can go into. That looks pretty cool. But listen, dog.
It's still just like
tripping.
To me,
you're
it's like
tripping.
unless you can't play the game for some reason, like it's a free to play game. You can get on
It's
anything.
crazy. It's crazy because Apex would make now that I think about it, it would make a good XCOM type game. It would really be a good XCOM type game. Like looking at this board, I'm just like, yo, if this was like a turn-based strategy game, like I feel like I would buy this. Like I would pay $60 for an Apex or Titanfall turn-based strategy game. That would be fucking dope, dog. That would be dope. That would be fucking dope. But listen, I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
It says for 2 to 4 players. I mean, team versus team miniatures board game. Hey man, if this your thing, that's your thing, dog.
Yeah,
that's your thing. All right, let's keep it moving, man. Let's keep it moving. Let's talk about the with the UK government is done. We haven't talked about the Xbox Blizzard Activision thing in a minute. We haven't talked about it. It's because it's been a lot of childish back and forth, to be honest. Kind of just Sony trying to stop it at all costs from happening.
Sony is so fucking butthurt over this
Yeah.
fucking Activate. I listen. To me, I'm like, let it be done because I don't really care. It's whoever owns Call of Duty is not gonna be the market shareholder of the entire gaming industry. Like,
Yeah.
the gaming industry is way more fucking diverse than that. And if you're gonna be butthurt over Call of Duty, then that means it's either for a fact that your numbers would fucking plummet because everything else that you're offering isn't as good. Like, all right, let's just on an objective of comparison, right? Sony has great single player IPs. They're getting a bit samey though across the board, like the way
With
they
Sony?
set up with the way they set up God of War and then for Horizon Forbidden West and everything like that. Getting a bit formulaic, and I'm not a fan of formulaic style games. Because like it's after I play one and the other one's too similar to the other, I feel like I'm playing the same game over again and I get burned out and then just put it down and don't come back to it. Other than that, they don't really have many multiplayer IPs that can really compete with Call of Duty like at all. They have a lot of exclusive contracts with like Destiny and shit like that. They have an exclusive contract with Call of Duty. It's caused a major controversy in the past because they literally held an entire feature back for that exclusivity, and it turns out that feature was basically underdeveloped anyway. So, it's a mixed bag on that one. But what Sony does have is decent single player IPs. They have decent software in terms of like the way the PlayStation itself is set up. And they have pretty okay justifications for you to get PlayStation Plus with free games every month and all that extra benefit. However, their online streaming service is kind of just ass. It's all the same games from the last generation and the generation we have currently.
It's gotten better, dog. I will say to speak on that PlayStation Premium thing, the extra, all that shit. It has gotten a lot better, dog. 'Cause I know a lot of people that have the PlayStation Premium package thing. They've added a lot of games. Like they got Capcom, get like pretty much all of the Capcom library, except for like certain Resident Evil games. I think like the newer ones. They got like all the Ubisoft games are on there.
They have all the PS1 games and PS2.
Well, not all, but they've got like the greatest hits ones, like the ones you care about,
like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, I'm personally not going to buy it because my PlayStation library is already huge as shit, and I pretty much own like a lot of the games on that list.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were somebody, let's say you just bought a PlayStation, you just got into the PlayStation family, I'd honestly recommend it, dog. I'd recommend it because there's a lot of games on there. Like you get Street Fighter V Championship Edition. I know a lot of my friends that I was streaming when I was streaming Street Fighter V, and we started a lobby and we're fighting. A lot of people got it off of that PlayStation Premium, John. So there's a lot of shit you can get through there. Speaking on the free games too, just a weird little segue. Free games for PlayStation. I did look that up. I forgot to put it in the show notes. We're getting Grid Legends, Descenders, in a game called a good game that I have on PC called Chivalry 2. So that's a pretty dope lineup if you have PlayStation Plus. So
What is their online streaming service called? PlayStation Now, right?
PlayStation Premium now is gone. They got rid of that. That's when you actually streamed the games.
Okay.
I mean,
PlayStation Premium is like the Xbox One, right?
yeah. Yeah, it's like the Xbox One, Joe, where you can download the games, you play them, you can do whatever you want with them. You get trials of newer games. That's one thing I like. Like you could play like 3 hours of when Forspoken came out, you could play up to 3 hours of that game on like a little trial.
Trials, classic catalog, and then streaming for PS2 games, PS3 games, and PS5 and PS4 games. They also say you can play these games on PC, but I think it's certain PC games. The certain games that have been re-released for the PC, or it's like a casting thing. It is for a 12-month subscription, $120. And 1 month is $17, and it is $49. Basically $50 for 3-month subscription. So, technically, best value is going to be the 12-month subscription, unless you don't have that on hand.
Yeah, I just got the regular.
This includes PlayStation Plus as well. I think before they remember back when they announced it, it wasn't gonna.
No. When they first announced it, it was still gonna have PlayStation Plus.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I remember it was like not gonna include PlayStation. You had to like get it separately or some shit.
Yeah, it's still there's three. I believe there's 3 or 4 tiers. There's PlayStation Plus Essential, which is what I got, where you just get the online and then you get the 3 free games a month. Then you have Extra, which is like you get like PS4 games and stuff like that. And then you get Premium, which is PS4, PS5, PS3, and PS2 games.
Yeah,
And PS1 games. So
it's I mean, like comparing it to the Xbox online game catalog for Game Pass, it's unless you specifically want to play those games on PlayStation, I still feel like Xbox has a better value.
yeah, Game Pass is late. Game Pass is late. It's just the thing I don't like about Game Pass is I don't like the way they kind of cycle their games out. Like I'd be feeling pressured. They'd be like, a game will come out. They'd be like, yo, in like 2 months, like this shit is gone. Like, so you better.
I think a lot of that has
to do
with
licensing. Yeah, it is. But it just be like, God damn, like I want to play this, John, but I don't want to like be rushed to play it.
To be fair, I mean, like if they don't own the IP directly, which is why Microsoft has been buying shit up, they have to renew the license each week, and if I guess they track whether or not people are playing it like that.
Yeah. Near Automata, I wanted to play that, John. It was on Game Pass. I had it in my mind, like, all right, once I beat, like, I think it was Fire Emblem Engage, which was my last game that I just finished on stream. I was gonna play that, John, and then I was just like, nah, it's not there no more.
I mean, yeah. We do quick calculations. Base Game Pass for just playing games is $9 a month. So 9 times 12 is what's 10. So technically it's
$120.
$120 a month for that.
And there's 140. I think it's 150 for the one that comes with Xbox Live Gold.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of better value and is gonna, I feel like based on game volume,
yeah, Game Pass has a lot to offer. Yeah, hell yeah.
You also get EA Play.
Yeah, I love. I love that because that's how I got to play the new Need for Speed games through Game Pass. So shout out to them for that. Even though I didn't play it that long because I'm really not into like racing games like that, I got to at least play it, and I didn't have to pay. I didn't have to spend $60 on it or anything like that.
Yeah, you got to at least try EA's crappy games.
I downloaded Wild Hearts through the EA Play, John, but I didn't start it yet.
Yeah, a lot of people I think compare it. It's pretty much a Monster Hunter clone. It's just a little bit weirder.
But we're going a little off topic. Let me take the reins on this Activision thing.
All right.
I was thinking about this shit the other day, right? I was thinking about this. I was like, man, with this like merger that's going on, like, yeah, they may lose Call of Duty. No, they probably are going to lose Call of Duty. Like, no lie. Like, Call of Duty's probably not going to release on PlayStation. They're probably going to do the same thing they're doing with like these newer Bethesda games where like Starfield isn't coming to PlayStation. Like, it's going to be Xbox PC. If I was Sony right now, again, the one thing I've always loved about the PS3 era of PlayStation was, and for those that remember this, the PS3 era had so many different first-party games. You had SOCOM, you had fucking Killzone, and Killzone was at its peak.
I wanted to play
PS3
Killzone when it came out.
Yeah, man, it was at its peak. All right, you had games like Mag that was like 120 players on a map. Like you had Sony like really try things. Heavenly Sword, you know what I mean? There were so many different, and people don't remember this because again, Sony has kind of shifted to be more narrative based. This over the shoulder, son and father, Joel and Ellie type story narrative, which I'm not mad at. I just feel like they need to differentiate the games. They need to make all of their, like you said, they're starting to feel a little too samey. Like,
yeah, I mean, like you look at Last of Us 2, it came out. I mean, aside from the fact they killed off one of the best characters, like not even like part in the beginning, like basically in the beginning of the story. Spoiler alert. That it's like over the shoulder, and we're not even dealing. You don't really fight against the zombies that much in that game. Like,
yeah,
that's another thing. The whole appeal to Last of Us to me, besides the dynamic between Ellie and Joel, was the zombies, the clicker, the corpse, the
clickers,
the cordyceps fungus zombies. I thought that was an interesting take on a zombie infection, because up until this point, it's just been virus or alien virus or bacteria virus or whatever. This is like an actual legitimate, could possibly happen, and it made it interesting. And the way they were trying to solve it made it interesting too. But it just like, then the second one come out and it's like, oh well, they're basically gone, so don't even worry about it.
Yeah, man.
Like, oh shit, society's been fucked by this, and they just went away. But then you have the same dynamic of Last of Us 1 with God of War 4 and God of War Ragnarok with Kratos and his son Atreus, and then like it's also an over shoulder Souls-esque, I guess, type game. Based on the gameplay I've seen. And then you also have another over the shoulder first party game, was Horizon Forbidden West, which I liked initially, but I mean, to me, it's just like after like the 30th dinosaur thing that I've killed and turned into a tower thing I climbed, I was like, I'm getting Ubisoft vibes very heavily from this shit.
Yeah, man. Like one thing, like I said, the one thing I give the PS3 era, because the PS3 definitely it flopped against the 360, because the 360 just had juggernaut of games. Like it just had so much different shit available.
Variety.
I think Sony needs to go back in tapping that shit. Like if you're worried about Call of Duty, let's get Killzone popping again.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, let's get Killzone popping again. Let's bring SOCOM back. Like you
well, not
see,
even that. Bring Resistance back too.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, but here's
I don't
the
know
thing.
about that one.
Here's the thing. We've said that about other games that they've brought back, and they've done well with some. So like, we weren't sure about the God of War remake when it came out,
Listen,
and then it was like, or reboot, and then it came out and it was good. People loved it. So like, they can definitely do it with any of their IPs. It's just, the problem is that they're focusing only on single player, and it seems like the only way they want to focus on it is like through strictly narrative based stuff, and that's why they don't want to do Call of Duty, because Call of Duty's already done. Instead of it's taken care of by a third party. The third party game that's offered on both platforms. It's a major player in the gaming industry. I mean, it's and if Call of Duty buys it, even though they are offering up essentially a deal for PlayStation, it's like PlayStation's just trying their best to keep something, because they, up until this point, they had some exclusivity with
crazy exclusivity at that.
Yeah, but it's like, at that point, why not just buy Activision themselves, put their bidding offer in there? But they're not trying to do that, so must be a reason for it.
They ain't
Either
got
they
the
lack
money to buy Activision. Yeah, they ain't got the money.
When they don't have the money, they don't have the money now because Xbox jumped on the opportunity.
Listen, I'm gonna keep it real with you, dog. I think Sony needs to like really like tap in and peep what they already have and be like, look, because I know like, look, we're in a world right now that's kind of dominated by these slower paced, objective based arena games. Like, you know, like you got your Counter-Strike Counter-Strike 2. You know what I mean? You got games where, you know, you could bring SOCOM back, right? You could bring SOCOM back, do 6v6 with operators and all types of shit. They have different abilities. You know, you got search and destroy. Like, I would play that. And then still offer that in a single player or even like a co-op story setting.
Not even that, bro.
SOCOM
like
experience.
MGS. Where's the last MGS game we got?
That's that's Konami, dog. So they
can still strike a deal with that. Metal Gear has been almost exclusively only on fucking PlayStation.
Yeah, that's another thing. Silent Hill 2 remake I believe is exclusive to Sony. Like they have what it takes. Like, look, not even gonna lie to you, right? It sounds crazy to say, but Sony, we talked about it like a bunch of podcasts ago. It was a while back. We talked about how Sony bought Bungie. They bought out Bungie.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, they bought out Bungie. Dog, Bungie makes good first-person shooters. I think the thing that Sony even said, I know we talked about it on a podcast so long ago, Sony wants to make more live service type games. Like that's what their focus is right now, is more like live service games.
I mean, that's like the trend now.
I think they got the right person to do that shit with. Bungie has a game that is we were literally talking about this the other night, me and my friends. Fucking Destiny is about to be 10 years old, and that game still is big and people still play, and it has a huge fan base. Like, people love Bungie. Like, dog, just do something with that. Like, losing Call of Duty to me isn't the end all be all, because the quality of Call of Duty is, while I like this new Call of Duty, I only necessarily like this Call of Duty like because the last one was so shit. Like, Vanguard was so.
Vanguard.
Vanguard was so
fucking say,
shit.
2019 was lit, and
it was alright.
That's me saying that because I don't really play Call of Duty. But
Cold War did it better.
But the expansions I never touched, because I was like, I'm really not about to drop $60 on a game that I've already bought.
Yeah, man.
That didn't make sense to me. I guess maybe I'm a little weird about that, but it's just like, this is just Call of Duty, but old timey.
Yeah,
this is Call of Duty World War II. I just want to play regular Call of Duty.
I think they could not to cut you off. Like, they've got a banger. They got a banger coming out. You know, I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but I've been hearing rumors that like a Last of Us 2 multiplayer is coming out as a standalone free-to-play multiplayer, John. They've got a banger with that. Like they literally have a fucking banger with that. They come out with that.
It depends. It depends on how they do it. I mean, like I know the one from Last of Us 1 was pretty good. But it wasn't like crazy popular. So it really depends how they do that. But I don't think that's gonna reach the same level of popularity as the Call of Duty franchise.
I don't think that's what the now, you know, I'm just a broke nigga saying this, right? These are $1 million, $1 billion corporations. Yeah, I mean, their goal is to make money. I mean, make the most money. They want the most money. I believe truly, like, just forget all of that. Worry about making good games that, again, because this is the game that let's put out the game that Microsoft is playing right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the game that Microsoft is playing with everything that they're doing. They're going the Apple route, which has been one of the most successful brands of all time. Like literally, it's a $1 trillion company. I think there's like only 3 other companies ahead of. I think it's like Google and something else, right?
Disney, probably.
Yeah, I think so. Apple is just so fucking big, right? But the way they've became so big is because they've created an ecosystem that keeps people within. No matter what product you buy, there's an Apple product for it, and they all work together. I think what Xbox is trying to do, and we saw this like dead ass like 10, 12 years ago. It's just that their approach to it was ass when they came out with Windows 8. And then they came out with the Windows 8 smartphone, and they came out with the Surface tablets. It's like they were going the Apple route. They're like, yo, we want to keep people in this ecosystem, right?
You know, I feel like everybody has tried that. Like Sony itself has had PlayStation Vita, has the what's it called? Like a lot of customization options for playing the game on the big screen TV.
But this is the problem with that though.
Yeah.
Microsoft, I should say, doesn't care how or what you play on to be in their ecosystem.
Yes.
You just have to be a part of their ecosystem. Buy Game Pass. You can play it on your phone, your tablet, your computer, your Xbox. If you choose to buy a fucking console, you can play it on your Xbox. I think with Sony, they're so stuck on just like because they're so stubborn. Yeah, they're so stubborn. Like they finally been like, all right, we'll come out with some PC shit for y'all. We got some games. Our games are coming to PC.
And half of it has kind of just been ass. I mean, like I'm not really trying to install 32 gigs of RAM for fucking Returnal. Like that's insane. Like
man.
And then we had the poor optimization with Last of Us 1. It's just it's ridiculous to me that they're like, oh, begrudgingly giving an inch to PC players because
I think they
realized way too late that there's a console, there's a market for their console games to go on fucking PC and reach a wider audience. Okay, and I feel like we're beyond the point of the whole console exclusivity bullshit. Like. It's not about Team Xbox or Team Sony. It's really just about what game is the best and where I can play it on. I'm not trying to play. Listen, I think the best, even though it's annoying as shit to hear about a new release for it every fucking few years, is fucking Skyrim because its shit is available on all fucking platforms.
Yeah, facts.
I can play it wherever I want. I'll play it on Steam Deck. I'll play it on fucking Switch. I'll play it on my fridge. I'll play it on Alexa. Like, I'll play it on PlayStation, Game Boy Color. Let's go. Where's the Game Boy Color version? Like, it's no longer about the fucking big 3 bullshit. The console wars are officially over, and everyone that bitches about it is like just the remnants of like it's like fucking motherfuckers from the Civil War bitching about that shit. Like it's over. Like calm down. Like go like lick your wounds in the shadows and be mad because we're all trying to live our lives and shit and just play some best games in the fucking world. Like real shit. I just want to play games that look interesting to me and are fun. I don't want to play the same game 3 times over because you can't get out of this weird narrative loop. I mean, how the fuck is Xbox going to be like, yeah, we just crowdfunded a Jet Set Radio kind of lookalike RPG music game that was stealth dropped, and that shit did better than most of the IPs that fucking Sony dropped and hyped up for years.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn.
I just think, like I said, I think the issue is that Xbox is just like they're going for this ecosystem. Like they just want you to just be a part of it, no matter what. Like we don't care what you play on, how you play it. Just buy Game Pass and do what the fuck you want with it. Now I just put something in the show notes, right?
God damn.
Because we haven't. I just put something in the show notes.
Drink some water, dog.
We haven't talked about this on the podcast because I think it just got rumored. Like this article's 3 days old, but I think they rumored this like a week or two ago. Sony did kind of rumor a Steam Deck type thing for their PlayStation family. I don't think they want to buy into another Vita or another like PSP situation. I think they understand because we're in this digital age of streaming and shit. I think they understand, okay, let's make something to where people can play PlayStation games on the go. And they could be in high quality. I remember when I was watching a YouTube video on this like a couple weeks back that it was going to be like
it's just their Switch.
Yeah, but you remote play games and stream games that you own from your PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 library to that, John, and you could play them like any fucking where.
I feel like the whole remote play shit is probably what's going to get them in a lot of hot water, because to me it sounds like you still need to turn on the PS4 and cast it.
Listen, I've actually remote played before, right? Like when I just was like laying in bed. I've been thinking about buying one of those like backbone things because like I be laying in bed sometimes. I'm like, damn, I want to go play a PlayStation, but I don't want to physically go to the fucking PlayStation. Yeah. So remote play works like literally seamless. As long as your PlayStation is in rest mode, that's all it needs to be is in rest mode.
But can you play it anywhere? That's
yeah. Oh yeah.
Anywhere in the crib or anywhere out of the world?
Out of the crib, out in the world, man. Yup. As long as your PlayStation is the fuck in rest mode, I believe you can do what you got to do, dog. And my PlayStation, I turn my PlayStation off, like fully powered off, maybe like twice a week. My system's always in rest mode because I want my shit to update. I don't want to just.
The thing I'm thinking is that I know when you download games on PlayStation, it locks you out without an internet connection. And if you don't have an internet connection, I don't know how they're gonna like do it, if that makes sense. Like if it's like a token type thing and it expires after a certain duration of you not being access to the internet, because I want to play my games offline, right? I just want to do it on the go. I'm gonna assume that I'm not playing Call of Duty on this thing, right? I'm playing fucking like Spider-Man or some shit.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, like that. We're really just gonna be tethered to the primary PlayStation instead of it being like kind of like a substitute for the PlayStation. Because there might be someone who just wants to play only on this. It might not be the best experience for most games. Like obviously playing on Call of Duty with this might be challenging. The way it looks, I'm going off the picture you sent. I don't know if that's actually how it's going to be.
They just took the fucking PS5 controller, cut it in half, and put a fucking smartphone in the middle of it.
Yeah, I mean, like that's probably what it's going to be, because that's basically what the Nintendo Switch is literally just a tablet with two controllers attached to it. But if it is the way I think it's going to work, it might end up being kind of a negative thing, because like if I want to go on a trip, but I don't want to bring my PS4 with me or PS5 with me, and then like, oh, but I have this portable thing. If I have to be tied to the internet for it, it might be an issue. If there's a token system, it might be okay until that token expires. Instead, I feel like it should just be treated like the Nintendo Switch, where it is like, these are your games. It's on this platform. You're good to go. Have fun. And then you'll get updates when you connect to the internet next. Like they should treat it more of a separate console rather than doing the whole share play shit or whatever, because that feels like it opens it up to a lot of bugs and a lot of issues with functionality. But that's just my opinion on things.
Yeah, man. I like I said, man. I think Xbox is trying to create this perfect ecosystem. I think they finally figured out. And this is the thing. I think they've got kicked so bad with the Xbox One and all that
They
initial
definitely did. That's
drama.
like a decade of trauma right there.
Yeah, so I think that all they want is a huge W, and I think they're on their way with that. They've been on their way with it with Game Pass, but I think I think Sony needs to just kind of dial down and just make the games though. Make these.
Yeah,
joints.
Sony needs to not focus on what Xbox is doing right now because they need to actually put out the games and do the work. Like if you
I
can't
say take their little deal, because remember they did offer them a deal like, hey, we'll let Call of Duty be on the PlayStation platform under
our moniker, like it's for a certain amount of money and shit.
Yeah. Like,
but
I feel like just do that, and just shut the fuck up. Yeah,
the whole worldwide Xbox bad, like beefing in real life type shit is annoying as shit. It's really just you're just fanning the flames to your like loyal fan base to go after and try and do shit externally. To me, it's a bit disingenuous for them because I mean, you heard about them trying to do it in Japan, and then the US was like, well, doesn't Sony own like a monopoly in Japan in terms of gaming? Like Xbox is struggling over there. You guys are thriving. You know, that's like your home turf type shit. Like, and they it ended up being like a double-edged sword for them. They ended up losing like ground with that. They allowed Xbox to exist over there. You know, have approve the merger in Japan. So I'm like, to me, it's like even if Xbox gets Call of Duty, just make another franchise.
Yeah,
you have the money to do it. You have the IP resources to do it. You say, I don't know about Resistance, but I'm like, you can just reboot it. Like, you can rewrite it, rechange everything, still use similar design so it's somewhat familiarity to the older PlayStation community. It'll be newer to everybody that hasn't played it. I know I haven't played it. I've been wanting to play it, but I don't feel like getting on my PlayStation to play it. Like, it's like, I'm not going to play this game that's been long and dead for like about a decade, and then go, all right, that was cool, and then just log off my PlayStation for another like year and a half. Like, it's you need to make it a compelling competitive IP, and it needs to be multiplayer, and it needs to be a shooter. And if they don't want to do that, and they want to just bitch about Call of Duty and waste thousands of dollars or probably millions based on trying to block this merger shit, and it ends up going through, then to me, you just played yourself. You lost any opportunity you had with Call of Duty, and then fucking, like, it is what it is at that point. I think Sony needs to focus on just making the game that they want to have. That's like Call of Duty. They could make a whole new fucking IP if they have to. I mean, Ubisoft is trying to do it.
Yeah,
the XDefiant.
Now that's the thing, dog. Like, I think just look, man, just do what you can, man. Take the L. Call of Duty's gone, and this is the thing, right? Me personally, I don't believe that if Microsoft acquires Activision, I do not think. I think Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6, I think it's different. I think that is like truly different. Those are games that they make a lot of money, but they do not make Call of Duty money, dog. Yeah. All right. I think regardless of how this shit is going down, I do believe Activision is going to still allow Call of Duty to be on the Sony platforms. Nintendo already, dog. Call of Duty hasn't been on a Nintendo platform since, like, I think it was like Black Ops 2. It was Black Ops 2.
What?
Which was
on
2012.
What platform?
No, it was Ghost. It was Ghost on the Wii U.
Okay. We don't count the Wii U.
That's the last Call of Duty game on a Nintendo platform. That's all I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
But Nintendo agreed to whatever terms that Microsoft set for Call of Duty to be on the platform in the future.
Because Nintendo makes a shit ton of money through their own IPs.
Not just that. I do really think Nintendo's on it.
It's exactly just that. I mean, all right, first of all, it's because I'm from I started getting into Pokemon card collecting. Bro, they making billions on just that alone. And then on top of that, you're talking about the Mario movie that just surpassed, by the way, good segue to the next topic, but the Mario movie just became the #1 3D animated movie in the world. It is still going strong. It is that popular. Nintendo's last IRL live action movie was Pokemon, and that also was really good. Nintendo don't give a shit about Call of Duty because that's not their lane. They don't care. That's not how they make money. They make money off of fucking Mario, Pokemon, and fucking Zelda. Like, they don't give a shit about Call of Duty. They came out with Splatoon as their own shooter. That's their competitor to Call of Duty, and that's popular as shit. Like, these are all things that Nintendo does that nobody really knows about because we're not worried about Nintendo. The only thing we want from Nintendo is for them to stop copyright striking fucking YouTubers. That's it. That's literally it. Everyone else needs to just look at Nintendo. Nintendo has been doing their own thing for fucking 60, 70 odd years and being successful. PlayStation's sitting here trying to dick ride fucking Call of Duty into the ground. And like, they bought Destiny. Like, they could have made a game competitive to Destiny, but they bought Destiny instead because that'd be easier. Like, Microsoft has been in the shithole since the Xbox One was announced. Like,
this is true.
Most of their first party RPs, and I hate to say it, has gone down the shitter since the 360 era. Xbox Golden Age was the 360 era. The only reason they're doing well now is because they're just buying the games and making that market easier for them for when they release the games.
All the games said, "You gonna do it for us?"
Yeah, they realize that they don't have the developers that they have in their pockets right now suck ass, and they want to have good games come out and have the good IPs. So they just are buying them. All right, they bought Bethesda, they bought Obsidian, they bought fucking. They're trying to buy Call of Duty. They have a bunch of smaller indie dev studios. What is it? What is it called? Hi-Fi Rush again? Fucking gold standard game right there.
Yeah,
stealth drops.
Love it. Yeah, people love that, John.
Bro, it's really just like Xbox is in their lane, Nintendo's in their lane, and Sony keeps fucking swerving. So I don't fucking like, bro. Straighten out. Go back into your lane, Sony. Make games that are meant for those competitive, like, to be competitors to the games like Splatoon and fucking Call of Duty. And then, like, go from there. Like, to be honest, I didn't think the Activision merger would even go through because it's such a big fucking deal. And they were worried a bit about monopolization. But at this point, I'm just like, let fucking Microsoft take the W. Like, just let them have it. Fuck it. Because there's a bunch of other games that people want to play. The reason why Call of Duty numbers drop is because people get burned out playing the same fucking game all the time.
No, I feel that.
You're like, you can only play the same fucking Battle Royale game so many times before you're like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to move on to the next one.
Yeah.
It just depends on which games you want to say. I cycle through games all the fucking time. I'm like Halo MCC 1 month, Halo Infinite the next month. Then I go back to Siege. Then I'm sitting here dabbling in Call of Duty DMZ, like, and occasionally playing the multiplayer. Like it's really just stay in your fucking lane, make good games, and you'll be rewarded with the fucking money you want. Like, I'm just really tired of this pointless fucking drama over a merger that's been taking years to finish because one company's butthurt about it. How do you have a major competitor in the game industry, Nintendo, be like, yeah, go right ahead, Microsoft, we don't give a fuck?
Yeah, I don't get it either, man.
Give zero fucks, bro. Just let them have it. It's annoying as shit.
I don't get it either. Dog.
Wasting all this time on this shit when you could be playing more games. I mean, what was your last IP that came out for Sony? Was Forspoken, and it was dog shit.
Yeah.
And it makes me worry for fucking Final Fantasy 15. Like, bro, it's just focus on making the games. Don't worry about the merger.
Man, listen, dog. Sony, you got this, dog. I believe in you, dog. I believe in you. Let's move on, man. We talked about this. I feel like we talked about this 1,000 times on the podcast.
I mean, it is kind of like a ever going online, like ongoing situation. So it's like
Facts.
every new update is like a recap.
Yeah, just reminding you that we want everybody to win. You just gotta want to win too. Like that's it.
You gotta want to do the work.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about a announcement that was made by Warner Brothers, man. They announced the reason why Quidditch was not in the Harry Potter sorry, let me not say that.
Yeah.
Hogwarts Legacy game. You know what I mean? Why it wasn't in the Hogwarts Legacy game is because they were already making a Quidditch only Harry Potter game called Harry Potter Quidditch Champions.
Yeah.
And they've been developing it well before Hogwarts Legacy was a thing. I think it's like 3v3 or 4v4. Quidditch only, dog. Quidditch only has like a cartoonish type art style. It looks like it's going to be pretty dope, and it honestly looks like it won't even be full price. So I'm down for this.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it is kind of sad that they didn't get to put their version of Quidditch in the Legacy game, but I mean, if this is what the community is willing to substitute it with, I think it'll be all good as long as the price isn't like crazy.
Yeah, I
feel like this would be like a $30 game.
Yeah, that's what I'm
if
saying.
not a free to play.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a full price game. They be out their mind to do that.
I mean, fucking FIFA does it, so
That's different, man.
No, it's not. That's the problem.
It's definitely different.
That's the problem. It's not different.
Yeah, man. And then Niantic has teamed up with Capcom. If you're not familiar with Niantic, they made Pokemon Go, the Witcher Go games. They made the Minecraft world.
They made the Harry Potter Go too.
Yeah, that they made all of them. You know what I mean? But they're most known for Pokemon Go, which is the most
popular one.
Yeah, and it's still ongoing to this day. Like I know people who to this day still play Pokemon Go. I still play Pokemon Go.
I check in on it every once in a while, but I honestly stopped.
They are making a action RPG mobile game that will be released in September of 2023 on Android and iPhones. They're doing Monster Hunter Now. That's what it's called, Monster Hunter Now, which is probably gonna have the same concept. Go to a location, beat up a monster. How you feeling about this? You think you're gonna?
I think this one might be interesting because if we're going off the Monster Hunter game mechanics, you're gonna be out in the world tracking monsters just to slay them, and then
that's what we do.
But I don't think it's gonna be like, oh, I'm over here, and then it's like we're done, and then we go on to the next one. I think it's really gonna be like Monster Hunter, where you spend 30 minutes trying to kill this motherfucker.
Nah, man.
Going from location to location, trying to finish them off and shit. So, but again, it's a mobile game, and it's also an outside in the real world game. So you need to please don't be like the idiots that played Pokemon Go when it first came out and harass people in their property. Be wary of your surroundings. 2, I don't think it's a really good feel going for on, but yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too, man. I think so too. I think it's gonna be dope. I'm looking forward to it. I am totally looking forward to this, man. I'm gonna try it. I'm definitely gonna try it. I gotta get me a new phone, but I'm definitely gonna try it.
I'm gonna see if my phone can run it. If not, then I'm just gonna not try it. I'll let everybody else tell me how it is. I hope it's good, though.
And then the last bit of news we got for you before we wrap this joint up: Suicide Squad has been delayed again.
Isn't it like indefinitely this time?
I think it's indefinite, you guys. So,
What a shock.
this game is in development hell, dog. I do not trust this game personally after the screenshots that I've seen of it being
Screenshot. No.
there's
The fucking actual gameplay where it's a Destiny clone, but for 4
yeah,
players.
and I listen. Not even just that, dog. Did you see that the main menu featured a battle pass?
Bro, it's not even like that. It's a fucking battle pass stored, and then there's also like I think in-game elements you can buy to progress quickly. I don't understand.
This is a single player co-op game, dog. There's no multiplayer to this, dog. Just so y'all know.
There's no competitive multiplayer, I should say. It is co-op multiplayer, so it's like this is not something I would buy at all. I mean, to be honest, I don't really buy many superhero games. It's got to be like something like Spooderman for me to want to actually play it. I don't really. Yeah. I'm not trying to buy a Superman game or anything like that. I just find them kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
But this is definitely something I would never touch with a 10-foot pole. Like, I mean, maybe initially because I thought it was gonna be like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Which I think is a decent superhero style game that doesn't really feel like you're playing a superhero game.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything like this, and their squad mechanics are a lot better. This is your Harley Quinn, this is your King Shark, this is your Boomerang Man, and they all have guns or a certain weapon type, and you can upgrade that because power level thing. It's kind of like the Ghost Recon shit with what is it called? Breakpoint?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. When that came out, it was like, oh, you can just headshot a dude, but you also have item power level. It's just like, it makes no sense. It's like, why is this part of the game?
Weird. Yeah, it's fucking weird, man.
Yeah, and then they're trying to justify the battle pass in a co-op game. I can understand that if the game is free to play. That would be one thing, but this is probably $60-$70 game on release. At least they're gonna try and charge for it. And then on top of that, you got a battle pass. All right, like I can't. This, and I'm assuming that there might be some items in the battle pass that aren't 100% cosmetic because it is a single co-op game, so they're not worried about unfair balance. But I'll tell you one thing: there's nothing fun about playing a co-op game with your friend who's over leveled from where you're at and is just literally slaughtering everything in front of you. It's like, why am I here when you could just do it for me? So I think they should just restructure how they do like abilities and gear, make it more traditional, and then get rid of the battle pass.
Yeah.
And just focus on DLC expansions if the game is good, like the narrative is good. I can't really justify anyone that buys this or is excited for this. We should actually have you call into the podcast because I would really want to pick your brain.
Yeah.
Because and instead of just being like, you're dumb, I just want to know why you feel so strongly that you need to purchase this game the way it is right now. And why you're bummed out by the delay. Actually, if you want to comment that on the YouTube video, go right ahead. But yeah, nah, it's a hard no for me, man. I don't think anyone should buy these style games.
I'm getting Marvel Avengers flashbacks from this.
Yeah.
I'm totally
and that was an MMO light, so
I wasn't even interested in this game to begin with. And now it's just like, it's really like I'm good.
I think the premise Kill the Justice League is like some weird, like anti-establishment style theme they were trying to go for. Like, because they're the heroes and we're playing as bad guys and shit. But I think they should have started off with Suicide Squad or something like a more simpler storyline so people can sink their teeth into the actual characters. Yeah. Before they did this seems like a game that would come out at the end of the trilogy. Does that make sense to me?
Nah, yeah.
I mean, that's just like, it's kill the Justice League. All right, what are you gonna do after this? Who else are we gonna kill?
Like, real shit.
We killed Superman. Like, what's up? It's like, oh, who's next? Oh, no, you killed Superman. That's it. It's a wrap. Like Batman's dead, everyone's dead. It's over. Just leave.
Nah, man, this shit's crazy, dog.
Yeah.
This whole situation just. Man, there's so many other games to play, dog. Don't worry about it,
Like
dog. If you're looking
Armored Core
forward to this,
6.
yeah, we didn't talk about that, man. Go ahead and tell them about that, and then we'll wrap this joint up.
All right. So, real quickly, if you haven't seen the trailer for Armored Core 6, I'm actually personally excited for it. It looks like it's getting the Elden Ring treatment. It's going to be an open world style game. It's all mech combat. There's no like boots on the ground style combat. Your robot's 100% customizable, and you do get a versus mode. So I think at least you're getting a TDM. I would like co-op in this, like in Elden Ring, but it's just I don't think that it made sense for them. So I guess they just didn't add it. It might get added later. I'm not entirely sure. But if you are a like fan of robot fighting games, this is definitely gonna be one for you.
Yeah.
I'm keeping my eye on it though because I'm worried that it's gonna release because it's supposed to come out in August. So I'm worried that such a short time between the gameplay trailer and the release date, it might end up being a buggy mess, which I hope it's not. But the way it's set up looks really beautiful. Like the environment, obviously, it's like a dystopian planet. I think it takes place in like a fictional planet somewhere, and it's like everything's dead on there, so it's really just more machinery and factory and just wasteland. But depending on how they set up the game, it might be really good. It might be just okay. It might be really shitty. We have to see more gameplay. But for everything I've seen so far, combat looks fun as hell.
Yeah, it does look good. It does look good. Like I said, I watched the trailer when I woke up this morning, and I will keep it real with you, man. I'm kind of excited for this one. I haven't played Armored Core since. Let me look it up. The one on the Xbox 360. I think it was
the
4.
last one I actually played was 5. It was 5 because this is 6. And I didn't really like that one that much. So, like this
Xbox 360.
This is a huge departure from what I've seen them do in the past.
Yeah, I think this one. It's this one. Verdict Day, which is 5. Wow.
Yeah, that's the one I played. That one, I think I got halfway through and I got stuck on a mission I couldn't progress because like I don't know what the either the mission objective wasn't clear or something. Just the way they set up that game was weird. But nah, 6 is looking mighty fine, and I like the story. The premise for the story so far is literally you're just a mercenary entering interplanetary conflict, and it has multiple endings.
Yeah, it was 5. 5 was the one that I played. Yep.
Yeah.
5 was the one that I played. That's crazy. Was it 5 or was it 4?
I think it was 4 because you said it was good, and I didn't really like 5, so I don't know if maybe you just were playing with other people because I think 5 was co-op. You could play with others.
Yeah, it's 4. I remember this cover art. Yeah, it was 4. It was 4. I played Armored Core 4.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And the developers were From Software, man. Because a lot of people don't know this was From Software's really their first game was Armored Core. So
I remember playing this shit on PlayStation 1.
yeah, man. But yeah, a lot of good games to play. If you're sitting here and you're like, man, the Suicide Squad got delayed again. Listen, dog, there's so much other shit to play. We're gonna leave you with one little quick thing, real quick, right? Resident Evil 4 just introduced microtransactions. The Resident Evil 4 remake. They have microtransactions. The microtransactions they're upgrade tickets, which allow you to upgrade your guns, fully upgrade your guns from literally no upgrades to all upgrades for $3 each.
It's $30 total.
I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel, but it's still the best game of this fucking year. So yeah.
I mean, it's upgrade tokens for a single player game. I'm not really too worried about it. Like, if you want to spend money, go right ahead. And I think it's a waste of cash, but you do what you got to do. If you feel
Yeah,
like it saves you time, like go right ahead.
yeah, that's literally all we got here, man. That's all we fucking got here.
That's all we got here right now.
If you got anything else to add, anything you wanna?
Nah, just take a nap or something. I don't know.
Yeah, man, I ain't got nothing else to say, man, other than thank you guys as always for tapping in, checking out the podcast, all that good shit. Again, we're gonna be trying to play around with the schedule a little bit. I'm gonna be a little bit more active because I know the thing with me with this podcast is it's fucking difficult for me to fucking promote these joints. I don't promote these like I promote my streams or my other content, but I'm definitely gonna promote the podcast a lot more, and I'm gonna make it a lot more easier on myself by putting it on a day, releasing it on a day where I stream, so I can constantly talk to my audience like, hey, make sure you check out this podcast. You know what I mean, make sure you guys share this shit with your friends. We ain't no professionals. It's really, honest to God, this podcast is just, when it's me and Eknight, it is literally two best friends talking about video games, something that we both love. And then when I get my boy Warren and Bird together for the music podcast, it's literally just three niggas that love to crack jokes and talk shit about shit that we love. I mean, so it's just a good time all together. This isn't no professional. We're sitting down at a table and, I mean, we're trying to be on our P's and Q's. Like, we want to be a little raunchy. We want to be a little real. We want to be a little unprofessional at times, though. And I think we do that really well, man. Make sure, again, shares with your friends. Let them know. I mean, that boy Inferno got a podcast, man. That boy Eknight got a podcast. But this has been episode 59. We're one episode away from 60, which is crazy because episode 50 was the live podcast, and it literally feels like we did that shit like a year ago. You know what I mean? And we're about to come up on 2 years of the podcast. So
damn.
It's crazy, man. It's fucking crazy.
God fucking damn. But yeah, quote of the day, fuck EA. Yeah.
Yeah, man. This has been the Infernal Gaming Podcast. We are out, man. See you all on the next one. Peace.
All right. Cool. I'm gonna go take a shit.